Goldberg planning an in-ring return outside of WWE. Plus, WWE stars are returning to Twitch, and an NXT star could be getting a draft call-up. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Not so much who's next, Ross, but where's next?
I have no idea, Tom. Do you know where is next?
Well, I don't. Thanks for watching the news.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goldberg might, though. He was on 93.7 The Ticket and was asked about his current situation. Obviously, we talked a few weeks back about Goldberg now being a free agent, and he's talked about plans outside of WWE. Now, before you start hyperventilating, little spoiler, this isn't to do with AEW. Before the veins start popping in your tribalist neck, don't worry about it. It's not to do with that. So he was on and he was asked about his free agency, and he said, I'll stop the rumor mill right now. The reason why these rumors are out there is because Vince McMahon and I had a handshake understanding after the Roman Reigns match. I'd have a proper retirement match, and that hasn't come to fruition through them. So therefore, nobody puts a stamp on my career. Nobody tells me when I'm done. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Period. End of story. He didn't say that last part. When somebody tells me that I kind of like to fight against it, I like to do things on my own and go out of my way, and I certainly don't go out under Roman Reigns 3 weeks after I had COVID and agreed to a match.
He's going to go under somebody, though. It's the traditions of the business.
I think if anybody can go out over somebody, it's Goldberg.
Whether they want to or not. Anyway, Goldberg continued. So, if I were to go on a world tour and promote it myself, that's a possibility. Hey, I'm a businessman.
I'm a businessman.
Goldberg. Spear your dad on.
Stonks.
Unfortunately, in the position I firmly believe to where I can still make it happen. At the end of the day, like I said, I do believe that my character deserves a proper send-off, and until that happens, I don't believe I'm hanging them up. Oh my goodness, it's terrifying reading. So anything and everything is an option. I'm very much leaning towards promoting myself and doing a 4-city world tour, so let the rumour mill start up after that.
So what will the cities be?
Newcastle, Spearsville, Dudleyville, and parts unknown.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I was gonna put Ipswich in there, but I think it's a town. So Goldberg. Now I kind of get the feeling this is Goldberg just going, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And I think this might encourage WWE to go, hang on, whoa. We want a bit of that Goldberg retirement money thing.
But what's coming up soon, Tom? Kind of. What they changed the plans for? Tom? That their Saudi Arabia show. I reckon that's the timing is quite perfect. They've scrapped the King and Queen of the Ring portion of, haven't they? And it's now going to be it.
Yeah. Now it's called Night of Champions. They've not strictly said there'll be no King and Queen of the Ring, but they've certainly changed the title of the show to be Night of Champions.
Because if it's going to happen somewhere, it's got to happen there. No AEW. Just put it in Saudi Arabia, let it be against Bray Wyatt or some bollocks like that. We don't mind Bray Wyatt losing this time because Bray's lost. He's like a fish up a tree at the moment, is Bray?
He's like a fish up a tree. So is he chatting to Kerry Von Erich?
Who lives in a tree, of course. He's so high up the tree that he's lost, is Bray Wyatt. So just have him win against someone like that, and then we'll crack on and forget it ever happened. It's fine. You have your moment, Bill.
Well, my thought was, well, first of all, it's my mistake. It's Kevin Von Erich that lives up the tree. Not before you go off. What's Bill DeMott up to?
Bill DeMott? What's Bill DeMott got to do with the price of cheese?
Do you always say that? That's for your flipping catchphase, that is, Ross. He was the first in the streak.
Oh, Hugh Morris. Yes, of course, yes.
I remember when
that's the match everyone wants to see in 2023 is Hugh Morris versus Goldberg.
I remember when Hugh G. Rection, as he was called, it's a funny name for a stiffy. When he won the US title and all the wrestlers came out to congratulate him, and Goldberg went, hey man, streak's got to start somewhere. So Goldberg's plaudits for Hugh Morris was, remember that time I beat you? That was fun. Well done.
He nailed a sick handspring, backspring thing though. It was amazing.
It was very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Hugh Morris Goldberg, that should be the retirement match. And I won't hit any more of it.
To be fair, though, if Goldberg's going to do a 4-city world tour, that would be a good night out because he's good at talking. He's a nice, wholesome man. I know we can't stand him doing the wrestling and beating the stars of today and all that sort of bollocks, but as a man who talks words, he's a lovely time. I've met the guy personally, thanks to Inside the Rubs, and he's a jam-up guy, just like El Dandy.
So you reckon he'll come to Newcastle, do a little Q&A session at Shearer's? over the road to
Shark Bar, quick bar fight. That's his retirement. Wins the world title. Off he goes.
Bar fight just kicks off during Chicken Wing Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I think they're still on at Shark. We'll see. And there's a hotel above it. You can stay there. Happy days. We've thought of everything. Newcastle Board of Tourism, get on that. Let's talk about Twitch, baby. WWE stars creeping back onto the social media network streaming platform.
Yes, Tom actually works for Twitch, speaking like that, you know.
I am Keith Twitch.
Keith Twitch of Twitch. Whatever.
Related to Gary YouTube.
Fightful Select after scoop this time, though, and they say WWE and Twitch reached an agreement to allow WWE wrestlers back onto Twitch with almost no restrictions. Those we spoke to said that the revenue will be a three-way split to Twitch, and the talent will take the vast majority of. Almost no restrictions was outlined as not permitting talent to stream with people from other companies unless it's cleared first. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, DeParty says hi.
DeParty, yeah, they do say hi. Hello, Uno. Not evil Uno. Uno. Cards.
But again, they said without, they can clear it. And I imagine that an outfit like DeParty, which is a combination of WWE and AEW guys, I think they'll let that slide.
Of all the things that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They've gone back and forth on this Twitch thing for a few years now. Back in the autumn of 2020, they said, right, no more, done now. I think it was after they saw Lana advertising like a fizzy drink on TikTok or something.
A fizzy drink?
Or something on TikTok, and they went, have you done that? No, stop it. And I think around the same time, Big E had like his cameo URL on his ring gear. Right. And I was like, yeah, make bank, lads.
Yeah, why not?
But then they said, no, none of that. And then obviously Saraya and I think Queen Zelina, it led to Zelina leaving for a while. And Saraya was very much outspoken about that as well, because they make a lot of money on that side of things.
It was one of them who said that they made more from the twitching than they did the wrestling, which is shocking.
Yeah, it is. We've sort of seen them start to go back on that over the past few months, which is what makes this Twitch announcement not so surprising. But of course, there's exceptions to that rule as well, because Mandy Rose got let go because of her third-party activities, and the nature of her OnlyFans account was what led to her leaving. And I think it's more a case of, it's not like, I think it'll be like, you can do the third-party stuff as long as it's kind of in line with the decency of the product.
But the PG, the TV-14 ratings.
Yeah.
No nipples to be seen. No. I assume there was nipples on Mandy Rose's thing. I haven't seen it, Tom, have you? In your role as a well-renowned journalist.
No, I imagine there was. I've not seen it.
Up the nipples.
Not checking my bank details. I've not seen it. I can't say. Hey, NXT was on last night.
It was big happenings on NXT last night. We saw the debut of Nathan Fraser's new gimmick, which was painful. More on that on the Cultaholic Wrestling podcast on Friday. Absolutely fantastic stuff. But the huge news was the return to the squared circle of Noam Dar, Supernova 11, as he kicked a man really hard.
He did indeed. Miles Bourne, who is a deaf wrestler, and I love to see Miles Bourne making.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's deaf.
Bloody hell.
Incredible, isn't he?
You couldn't tell. I didn't know that.
He's fantastic. Big love. I don't want to see more of Miles Bourne, but it's good to see Noam Dar on TV as well. Get this, he joined in 2016. This is his first time on NXT. And he was in NXT UK for the longest of times. He did stuff on 205 Live.
CWC.
With Alicia Fox.
On the Raw.
Yeah, he did a bit on the old Raw and stuff, but never on NXT until now. And he has the Heritage Cup with him. And as we learned last week, Heritage Cup is now canon in NXT off of America.
It's a big chalice that Noam Dar's brought along, but nobody knows what it means. So it's just him going, look at my lovely chalice, isn't it lovely? And we're like, what does it mean, Noam? How did you defend it? What's going on?
Did they not do that last week?
I can't remember, Tom.
I'm sure last week, maybe this week.
He was there on commentary with it next to him and stuff, but I don't think they ever explained the rules.
But he was announced as the NXT Heritage Cup champion.
How do you win it, Tom? I want a shot.
It's the old World of Sport style rules. It's rounds and
cartwheels. Ooh, dozy-do.
If it was real World of Sport style rules, it wouldn't be cartwheels and dozy-do. It would be belly pushes from Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks, and the crowd chanting easy, easy, easy. But yeah, first time on TV for Noam Dar in a long time, so this does count as an in-ring return. First time in over 9 months he's been on WWE telly. I think he did a house show, but it was a weird one because when NXT UK got, mothballed, I guess, until it becomes NXT Europe. Like, we saw everybody saying farewell, and then, like, Noam Dar was one of the few people left on the roster, and then we heard nothing, and we saw nothing. And then he popped up in 2K23, and we went, okay, great. and now here he is.
Yeah,
it's
of all the NXT UK roster, he's arguably the most charismatic. He's in wonderful shape. He's got a lovely, lovely physique going on at the moment. He had his hair in, like, plaits like Erling Haaland had in training last week. He looked fantastic.
He was a lovely man. But I tell you who WWE think is currently a lovely man.
Who is that, Tom?
Dudley's own Tyler Bates. The real Dudley boy of WWE, Tyler Bates.
British strong style is about to make a comeback, maybe on the main roster.
That's my Birmingham accent.
It's not a bad West Midlands accent, that is. I'm not even offended. It's all right, that. It's like my native tongue. Worked Wrestling say after a very well-received match on main event against Dolph Ziggler, Tyler Bate is being mentioned internally as a potential call-up during the draft.
Now, we've all seen that little compilation of Twitter, the highlights for that match against Dolph Ziggler main event, and it was fantastic. The way Tyler Bate gets out of an arm lock is absolutely sensational. He's rolling around. Ziggler selling his bollocks off for Tyler as he does. Tyler selling his bollocks off for Ziggler as he does. It's a wonderful thing to hear because Tyler Bate's been a bit lost in the shuffle in NXT. He came along, he was a hippie, then he was just an eccentric Englishman, and then he was an eccentric Englishman who was also a hippie on the side, then he was an honorary member of Chase U, helped them beat the schism, up the Chase U, and now he's just not been doing too much since then. So I think a call up to the main roster, the possibilities are endless.
He is such a hidden weapon in WWE's arsenal, is Tyler Bate. He is so good, and he's still he's barely in his 20s. He's still disgusting. It's grim. But he's so good, and I love the possibility that we could finally see him doing stuff on the main roster.
Yeah.
So deserved. One to keep an eye on, as is the wrestling news throughout the day, which you can keep an eye on at cultaholic.com. Stay safe.
Goodbye from Birmingham, West Bromwich Building Society.